Hi, I'm Troy from Studio 33 Guitar. Thanks for watching. And today we're looking at how to play Wagon Wheel on guitar. Wagon Wheel is one of those classic songs that if you play guitar, you really should know how to play this song. It has been covered by a lot of different artists over the years, but most recently it has become very popular with the version by Darius Rucker. But regardless of which version you like, the chords that we'll look at today and the strumming pattern will fit any of those versions. The chords are quite simple. There's only 4 chords throughout the entire song. The strumming pattern is the part that's a little bit more complicated, and I'll show you exactly how you can do that, and I'll also show you a simplified version to get you through the song if you're more of a beginner. And as always with my song lessons, you can download a free PDF version of the chord chart from my website, studio33guitar.com. And while you're there, you can also check out some of the other free lessons that I have, or check out the full courses if you're wanting to learn more about how to play guitar. If you want to play along with the original recording by Darius Rucker, you will need to use a capo on your guitar. Now, if you don't have a capo, you can still play this song with these chords. It's just going to sound a little bit lower than the Darius Rucker version. If you need to get a capo, you can pick one up at your local music store, or you can order one on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below for the one that I use. So let's zoom in on the neck and have a look at how to play Wagon Wheel. Like I mentioned in the intro, you only need 4 chords for this entire song. Those are going to be G, D, E minor, and C. Now, a couple of those chords might look a little bit different than you're used to. If you're a beginner, you may have learned how to play those chords a little bit differently. But if you've watched some of my other videos in the past, I talk about these 4 chords a lot and how to place your fingers on there to make them simple to play and really efficient. But I'll also show you a couple of other chord voicings that you can use that may be more similar to what you're used to playing. But first, let's start with this G chord. So typically when I play a G chord, and I recommend it this way for most songs, we're going to put our middle finger on the 3rd fret on the E string, and then our index finger, next string down on the 2nd fret. And then the next 2 strings are going to be open. And then the bottom 2 strings are going to have the ring finger and the pinky finger both on that 3rd fret. Now sometimes a G chord is played with just the pinky like that, or just the ring finger down there. I recommend playing it with these 2 fingers, and again, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know why, but the main reason is that when you play it this way, you can use your ring finger as a pivot point to play between different chords. So for this song, this ring finger gets to stay for all 4 of these chords. So that makes it really easy to change, especially if you're a beginner. That's 1 less finger that you need to reposition. I'll show you the timing and the strumming for each of these chords in a few minutes, but first we're just going to cover the chords themselves. So after that G chord, we're going to go to a D chord. And that's played the same way as a normal D chord would be. Again, you'll notice that that ring finger stays right where it was for that G chord. And so for the D chord, if you're a beginner, we only play from the D string down. So we don't play these lowest 2 strings. After that D chord, we're going to go to an E minor chord. Now this is the one that might catch you off guard if you've already learned how to play an E minor chord a different way. For this one, we're going to play an E minor 7, and all we're going to do is move our index finger and middle finger up. And we're going to play both of those on the 2nd fret, the A string, and on the D string. That ring finger is going to stay where it has been for those other 2 chords. And we're going to put the pinky finger back down where it was when we played that G chord. So the E minor chord looks like this. If you've learned E minor a different way, for example, maybe with middle finger and ring finger like that, that's a fairly common way to play an E minor. You can use it that way for this song if you prefer. I just typically prefer to have this chord shape because again, it makes it really easy to be able to leave those fingers down and makes the transitions really easy. So if you're a beginner, I would suggest that you definitely do it this way, and even if you're more advanced, I would recommend playing it this way because it just simplifies things and the chords sound really great together. Now the next chord is going to be a C chord, and so for this one we're going to play the C add 9 chord, which is going to look exactly the same as that G chord that we did, except the middle finger and index finger are going to move down 1 string. So we have the middle finger 3rd fret of the A string, and then the index finger, 2nd fret of the D string. And then again, these 2 fingers are in that same position. So here's our C. Now one little trick for playing this chord is I use my middle finger just to nudge up against that low E string to keep it from ringing out. And by doing that, then you can strum all 6 strings without worrying about having to skip that low E string. And again, if you're used to playing a C chord like this, a regular traditional C major chord, you can also play it that way for this song. But I find that chord is an awkward one to get into position for. You have to move all of your fingers in order to change from these other chords that we're using. So if you're a beginner, especially, I would recommend you use these 4 shapes that I'm showing. But if you prefer to use that C chord and that other E minor, you can certainly do that as well. Each of these chords are being played for 1 bar. So 1 bar means you're counting to 4. So a really simplified way to look at this strum is just all down strokes counting to 4 for each chord. So that would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the second time you play through that same sequence, except you skip the E minor and you go to the C chord for 2 bars. So that would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there's a lot of different strum patterns that you could use to play this song, but the one that really fits is one that is probably the most popular strumming pattern that's used in many different songs. You've probably heard it talked about in some of my videos and some other videos online where they talk about this strum pattern. And that sounds like this. Down, down, up, up, down, up. Down, down, up, up, down, up. So each of these chords would get that pattern, down, down, up, down, up, and then you would move to the next chord. Except for that one spot where we play that C chord for 2 bars, it would get 2 of those strum patterns. So that would sound like this. Down, down, up, down, up, 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 down, down, up, down, up. Like I mentioned, if you want to play along with the original Darius Rucker version, you will need to use a capo. And all you're going to do is take the capo and put that on the 2nd fret. And then you're just going to move those chord shapes that we just learned up 2 frets. And now you're going to play exactly the same way that we did earlier when we had the chords down here. And now you'll be able to play along with the original recording. So make sure you download the free PDF chord chart of the song on my website. It'll make it a lot easier to follow along. If you want to learn some more easy beginner guitar songs, then make sure you check out this playlist on your screen right now. And thanks for watching today. We'll see you in the next video.